this session, we are going to discuss about the configure the standard Linux permissions. So first you should know about the permissions. What is the permission? Permission is just grant the accessibility of any file, folder or any type of the subject, any object. It is grant the permission to the subject to accessing the object. So what is the subject and object? I have told you already, the user, the guru, these are the subject application, and there is a some object which are the resources like files, folder and any specific application. So we will discuss about the how to configure these Linux permissions or these standard permissions inside the Linux. So first here I am going to discuss about the principle of the least privilege. Least privilege means minimum privilege or only the required privilege. For the example, here is a two example. One example for the proper example and another is a improper permission. Here is a proper permission and this is the improper permission. For the example, here is user A and user A want to read a particular file. The name is a file1. So they are granted to read permission only. Why? Because the user A want to read the file A. So user will be granted to read permission but not write permission, neither execute permission. So what is the write permission? Write where the user can do the modification with the file or the folder, right? So this is the proper permission. But what is the improper permission? Improper permission like user A want to read the file 2, but they are granted to read, write and execute permission. Means the user A can read, write and execute the file 2, but user A required a only read permission. So this type of the improper permission means when the proper configuration not done or not granted to specific permission for the specific file or the user, so it is known as a improper example. Improper permissions. Here is a two more example, proper and improper. User A needs to perform the standard system activity. Standard system activity means you open the Firefox and edit the file, create a file, like this type of the basic activity over the system, such as a creating file and associated with their own jobs, and does not need to perform any type of the system administrator task. System administrator task means like network settings, configuration changing, hard disk partitions, installing new software or removing old software. These are the administrative tasks. So user log on the standard user. Okay, this is proper example. Even there is a improper example that the same user A wants to do the same activity and cannot do the administrative task or not requirement to do the administrator task. Still you or user log on as a root account. So root account is a administrator account. It can be used for the administrative task. Whenever you don't requirement to do any type of the administrative task, then you should not log in as a root user. These are the basic example of the permissions. So permission generally can be implemented on the two labels or the accessibility of the two things. Like you are a user, so what you can do inside the computer or what you will access in the computer, you will access either the file or directory. Either you can access the file or you can access the directory. So what is the file? File and the directory both have the three permissions. One is a read, another is a write, another is a execute. In a read permission, the only have the ability to access and view the content of the file, means it can open the file and the user can read the file, but cannot write, cannot execute. So read permission only read the file or the content of the file. In a write, the ability to edit the file, do the modification inside the file and make the changes and save them. Another is a execute. Execute actually related to the executing program. Executing program means like script, any program or other software files. They can run, they can execute. But in other hand, in a directory, read directory means you will be ability to list the content of the directory. Whatever the inside the directory, you can check out that content. That's it. And in a write, you have the ability to create and rename or delete the files which is exist in the same directory. Okay, and for the execute to be ability to access a directory, execute any files which is exist in the same directory or the perform a task on the directory. So you have understand about the accessibility of the files and the directory. So in this case, if you want to change the permission, want to implement the permission, so you will implement the permission on the files or on the directory. Okay, so let's check how you can do all these things. So the accessibility will be identities. Who will the access? What will be the access? File and folder. And who will access? User can access, group can access, other can access. So there is a three access identities which will access the files and the folder. So user already know who are using the computer. So user is a single account designated as a owner. Owner means when you are logging with any user and you are creating a file, so this file will be created as a user. User will be the owner. It is the by default for the resource creator. Whatever the resource will be created, it may be the creating of the files, it may be the creating of the folders. The owner will be the user. User means any user. Like you are logging with the Vijay, so the owner will be the Vijay. Group G. Group means the single group. Yesterday we have discussed about the group, like there is a one group is a marketing group and here is a three users are inside marketing group, like user 1, user 2, user 3. There is a three users who are the member of the marketing. So whatever the security or whatever the permission you will grant for the marketing, all the user who are the part of the marketing can do the editing of the file and the directory. Others means accepting the user, owner, all the user are candidate, all user will be considered as a all users and groups who are not designated for the user, owner or associated with the group. So these are the identities who will access the resources. Okay, so display the file permission. If you want to check any file permission, so you can use the ls-l option. It will display the permissions, whatever the file you have been created. So it will be displayed like this.